In a ferociously long, long day today at the Hall household. Had a lot to do, a lot of irons in the fire to take care of, and a lot of things going on. But it is good to be with you on a Monday night. We do Monday night dog report, dog talk, whatever you want to talk or call it, here on Monday nights on today's sports report. Brought to you by UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Chris Hall, your host. Good to have you with us tonight. We thought we would dip in here a little bit and talk about some issues having to do with the University of Georgia. If you'd like to chime in with your comments, you are more than welcome to do so, and we'll give you a chance to sound off about the Bulldogs. I tell you, I rarely do I sit down and watch a NFL football game. I just, I'm the kind of guy that, okay, I'm sitting there with an NFL football game and I think, I really need to get up and go do this or go do that. Sitting still is not my forte, even when it comes to like NFL football. Now, if you're talking college football, University of Georgia or a good college football game, I'll ensconce myself in my recliner and give me a good glass of tea or something like that, and then you know just really lay back and watch a game in its completion. But when it comes to the NFL, I'm always thinking, my time would be better spent doing this or that. Now I will check in on the game. I'll go do something and then I'll walk through and I will check on the game unless the television has been turned to something like a Hallmark movie or something like that. But boy, I tell you, Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to get into University of Georgia football stuff here in a minute. But Saturday and Sunday, the NFL games, the NFL playoff games, Saturday and Sunday. I got interested in the one Saturday, the Bengals and the 49ers, or the Bengals and the Titans. I'm sorry, the Bengals and the Titans. I got interested in that one. And my word, what a game. And then you had the 49ers and the Packers playing in the snow. I loved it. Then you had the Rams and the Bucks yesterday and the Bills and the Chiefs. I tell you what, the NFL games this weekend were just absolutely fantastic. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Titans 19-16. Now, who did I pick in that game? I play around a little bit and say, well, who do I think is going to win? I think I did pick Cincinnati to win that game. Joe Burrow, LSU guy, SEC kind of guy. So I went with, I don't know where Tannehill played. Where did Tannehill play? Yeah, okay. I don't know. Anyway, Cincinnati won 19-16. What a great game. And then San Francisco and Green Bay. I mean, I was wanting to go to bed. I was wanting to go to bed. I was ready to go to bed, but I couldn't. I just had to sit there and watch the thing. And then San Francisco, of course, winning over Green Bay by a score of 13-10. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to play somewhere. He's going to play somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be for Green Bay, but Aaron Rodgers still has it. He still has a lot of gas in the tank, and I don't think he's going to walk away from the game. But I don't think he's going to be at Green Bay. But San Francisco won that game 13-10. Hello, by the way, everybody. Good to see you. Hey, Beck, how you doing, my man? If you want to chime in here with something about the University of Georgia, and we're going to get to some of our UGA news here in just a moment. Good to see you again. Good to hear from you again, Beck. And everything is going well in South Georgia. A little coolish. Boy, the frost was ever more on the pumpkin this morning here in South Georgia. Fortunately, we dodged all the snow and some of the ice that was north of us. Didn't quite get down to where we were, to where we are. But good to hear from you. Still celebrating. I'm telling you. Yes, we are. In fact, my daughter sent me a text today and she said, "Hey, Dad, do you have a national championship T-shirt, celebrating Georgia's win over in the national championship game?" And I said, "Well, actually, I don't. I haven't really ordered one or come across one or anything like that." And she says, "Well, don't worry about it. I got you." And so when we go to visit my daughter, we'll be getting that beautiful national championship T-shirt. So anyway, and yesterday, Los Angeles beating the Buccaneers 30-27. Matthew Stafford finally getting it done in the playoffs, finally breaking somebody else's heart in the playoffs, 30-27. And so you have Tom Brady. Now Tom Brady may be done. I don't know about Aaron Rodgers, but Brady may be done, but maybe not. Maybe not. The dude's 44 years old, continuing to play. He was the best quarterback in the NFL this season. So, most yards, most touchdowns, and all this kind of stuff. So he's amazingly, he still has some stuff in the tank. But Los Angeles, the Rams winning over the Buccaneers 30-27. Just a great game. Just a great game. The Rams getting it done. And then that game last night between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, my word. Let's see. Okay, we got all kind of people chiming in here, and good fellows. Good to have you all joining us here tonight on our Dog Talk page. Buffalo and Kansas City. What a great game! What a great game! What a great game! I mean, the quarterbacks for each of those teams were just, oh my word, tough dudes, and Mahomes, that throw that he slings it like a sidearm pitcher, and it goes around the guy. That's I just amazing. And I tell you, what great games. There's a lot of controversy, of course, about Buffalo not having the chance in overtime. Kansas City scored the touchdown, and that was it. And so a lot of discussion around about that. But there you go, NFL. A great weekend of games. And so now you have in the conference championship games, you have Cincinnati and no, you have Cincinnati and the Rams. No, I'm sorry. Cincinnati and the Chiefs. I'll get it right in a minute. Cincinnati and Kansas City for the AFC championship. And then you have San Francisco and Los Angeles for the NFC championship. Those will be next weekend. And then whoever wins that, there you go. They're going to the Super Bowl. So great games in the NFL. NFL did good with those games. By the way, you might be wondering about Georgia Bulldogs who were involved in those games. In the Rams win over the Buccaneers, Leonard Floyd played for the Rams, had 4 tackles, including a sack, former Georgia Bulldog. Sony Michel had a 4-yard rush, 2 catches for Los Angeles. Matthew Stafford, quarterback for Los Angeles, of course, a former Georgia Bulldog, went 28 for 38, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 70-yarder for the Rams. His 44-yard pass in the final 30 seconds set up the game-winning field goal. Stafford also rushed 4 times for 6 yards and a touchdown. Kansas City and Buffalo, the Chiefs winning over the Bills. DeAndre Baker recorded 1 tackle for the Chiefs, former Bulldog. Mecole Hardman rushed twice for 31 yards and a touchdown, caught a 26-yard pass to set up the game-winning score in overtime for Kansas City. Mecole. Malik Herron spent the entire season on the Chiefs non-football injury reserve list, didn't play. Isaiah McKenzie, wide receiver, returned to kickoff for 22 yards, rushed 3 times for 15 yards, caught a 3-yard pass for Buffalo. In the Bengals game, Bengals win over the Titans. You had Lamont Galliard spent the entire season on Cincinnati's practice squad. Trey Hill protected on 5 placement kicks, 4 field goals, including the game winner as time expired, and an extra point for the Bengals. Elijah Holyfield has been a running back on the Cincinnati's practice squad all year. Ben Jones, offensive lineman, logged all 53 snaps at center and helped Tennessee roll up 353 yards in offense in the game. Monty Rice, linebacker, ended the year on the Titans' injured reserve list with an ankle injury. And then in the 49ers win over the Packers, Charlie Warner, tight end, appeared on 21 offensive plays and 20 special team plays for San Francisco. And Eric Stokes played all 54 snaps on defense for Green Bay. He had 4 tackles. So there you go. Great NFL games and a lot of former Georgia Bulldogs who were involved in those games. Good to have you along with us tonight. We got a lot of folks chiming in here on our Monday Night Dog Report. A couple of other things kind of interesting. I thought we'd look over quickly the 2022 season. The 2022 season for the Georgia Bulldogs. And kind of look at what the schedule holds in store for the Bulldogs in the coming football season. And boy, it can't get here quick enough, can it? I mean, Saturdays without college football is kind of like, okay. My dad was booing Tom Brady. Well, okay. Yeah, okay. There you go. Let's see. Now, Georgia's season next season, and we'll still be celebrating the national championship for the University of Georgia, obviously, when this comes around. September 3rd, the Chick-fil-A Classic, Oregon versus Georgia. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. That's the kickoff game for Georgia next year. Dan Lanning will be the head coach, or is the head coach for Oregon now, as he faces off against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's see. And then we have Samford University coming to Georgia on September the 10th. That'll be in Sanford Stadium. September 17th, Georgia going to South Carolina, Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina will be loaded for bear. I tell you, next season, Georgia's going to be the team with the target on its back. You can believe that. And South Carolina will be all hyped up. Shane Beamer doing a good job through the transfer portal in picking up some players. South Carolina will not be a weak sister next year. They're going to be a formidable foe. Georgia should win. Georgia should win. Georgia has better talent, but it's going to be a dogfight or a cat fight or a cockfight, I guess, with the South Carolina Gamecocks. September 24th, Kent State comes to Georgia at Sanford Stadium. October 1st, Georgia goes to Missouri to play Missouri. Missouri's picked up some guys in the portal. So SEC games on the road, even those games you expect to win by a handy margin. Boy, you never know about the SEC games on the road. So you have October 1st, Georgia at Missouri. To be determined, let's see, what do we, and then we got October 8th, Auburn at Georgia, Sanford Stadium. October 15th, Vanderbilt at Sanford Stadium. Then October 29th, Florida and Georgia. There you go, Florida and Georgia. And the that big rivalry down in Jacksonville, Florida. November 5th, Tennessee at Georgia. Tennessee doing a good job through the portal and doing a good job on the recruiting path as well. November 12th, Georgia at Mississippi State. Again, I mean, you go on the road in the SEC, boy, it's going to be a slugfight. And then the following week, November 19th, Georgia goes to Kentucky at Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky. So, and then November 26th, you have Georgia Tech coming to Sanford Stadium. So that's the schedule for next year for the University of Georgia. Most of those games, obviously, very winnable for the University of Georgia. It's going to be a challenge. Some of those games on the road is going to be a challenge. Then you have the SEC championship game, and then you get into those playoffs. So let's load them up and let's do it again, right? Let's see. Joshua was, have we spoken to Burton? We have not, but we do have some news and rather, some kind of reaction to all of that. Um, yeah, we talking about our receivers. Uh, so Jermaine Burton, as you have, Jermaine Burton, Georgia receiver, junior Georgia receiver now, has entered into the transfer portal, and he will be going to play for the University of Alabama. Uh, you know, and people have asked me a lot, say, "Well, what's going on? Why did he do that? Why what's the deal? Why did Jermaine Burton leave Georgia, decide to go to the transfer portal?" Now I don't know. I haven't talked to Jermaine and can't read his mind or anything like that. I would suspect, boy, you just don't know. You just don't know about the chemistry on the team and how guys are fitting in and how they feel like maybe they won't fit in and that kind of thing. Jermaine probably feels like he will get a better opportunity to advance to the NFL if he plays for Alabama, Bryce Young being the quarterback. I just don't know. It could be Brock Bowers is going to be the man. He's going to be the receiver man. He's going to get the attention. It could be that, Jermaine didn't want to be in the shadows of Brock Bowers. Don't know. He may have been disappointed with Stetson Bennett coming back as quarterback and saying he's going to come back and be the quarterback for the University of Georgia. Don't know. Um, Jermaine Burton, it is what it is. Georgia has some very talented receivers in the receivers room. You feel like somebody needs to step up, and you just have to believe. Here we go, the transfer portal. By the way, I have a good friend of mine, and he and his wife were playfully having one of those marital discussions the other day. And just really, they have a great marriage, great relationship, and they were playing around with one another and just having one of those fun times of jabbing one another. And my friend said, his wife said, "Well, if you don't start treating me better, I'm going to go into the transfer portal." I never heard that, but there you go. But anyway, Georgia's going to be okay. But with the transfer portal, you got to believe this, that, Georgia's going to pick up some receiver somewhere from somebody, somehow, some way that will be a good fit in the receivers room. That transfer portal thing has just changed college football tremendously. Basically, players now are free agents and they can, leave one team and go play for another immediately. There's a lot of pros and cons about that. You can get into a lot of discussions about that, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I think the most compelling thing in favor of the transfer portal is the fact that, well, hey, these coaches go and recruit these kids and say, "I'm going to be with you, for your career here at our university." And then they up and leave and go accept a head coaching position somewhere else. And they can coach immediately. Well, why can't a player then leave the university and go somewhere and play immediately? So, it's a lot of back and forth. It's new territory. It's changed everything in college football. And now the NIL deals, name, image, and likeness, where players can be paid, for endorsements and that kind of thing. That's changed college football so very much. Caleb Williams from Oklahoma, we still don't know his decision as the starting quarterback for Oklahoma this past season. He's in the transfer portal. A lot of speculation that he might be headed to Georgia. Seems as if now the more likely landing spot for Caleb Williams might be Southern California, USC, with his former head coach, Lincoln Riley. But there's still a chance he might come to Georgia. Yeah, and I agree with you, Don. There is a difference between a head coach and a student. Yeah, I mean that's the argument that is used, about the kids being able to transfer and play. And I agree with you 100%. I'm not really crazy about the transfer portal thing. I think it's very disruptive. I think it's just, I don't know. It seems like I don't know. Maybe it's commercialized, the college football a little bit too much or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the field, and and I've talked to a lot of former players who love the portal and love the idea of it. So, but it is what it is. Whatever your opinion is, it is what it is. And so colleges are having to deal with it. I know Nick Saban is not a big fan of it. Kirby Smart is not a big fan of, the transfer portal thing going on. But they deal with it and they accept it and they say, hey, it is what it is. And so we might as well do what we need to do to take advantage of it. And that's what they're doing. So Jermaine Burton, who, you know, you put him with Bryce Young in that Alabama offense, that's going to be pretty good. And Alabama's picked up a running back from Georgia Tech, and a couple of other players through the portal. As far as I know, Georgia hasn't picked up anyone yet through the portal. But Burton leaving Georgia to go to the University of Alabama, very very interesting. Speaking of NFL star, um, former Georgia player, NFL star McCole Hardman, Kansas City Chiefs receiver, really didn't like the fact that Jermaine Burton has left the University of Georgia to go to Alabama. He on Instagram, Hardman scolded Burton for his decision. He said, and I quote, "How do you go to the team we just beat and you leave a team you won the Natty with?" So McCole putting his little 2 cents worth in there. So also kind of interesting today. There's a lot of there's a lot of news about the University of Georgia and a lot of news about college football. The big thing coming up now, February 2nd, that is the traditional signing day for recruits for the 2022 class. Georgia still has some commitments out there who have not signed. They're waiting for that traditional signing day. And Georgia could pick up some more players, maybe some flips from other guys who are committed to other colleges flipping to Georgia. It could be that Georgia will pick up some other players who have yet to make a commitment to a college by February the 2nd. So Georgia's not done recruiting high school players for 2022. And so that's the traditional signing day is February the 2nd. Georgia currently, according to 247sports.com, has the number 3 ranked recruiting class for 2022. Texas A&M number 1, Alabama number 2, Georgia number 3. All that's up in the air. If you land in the top 5 in the recruiting class, you've done really well. You just done really well. So Georgia is sitting in a good position and could pick up some more help. There are some colleges who are trying to flip some of our guys who have made commitments to Georgia, but who have not yet signed with Georgia, waiting for the traditional signing day. But I think our class is pretty well set, except for some possible surprises and guys coming out of nowhere. But the portal will be wide open, and so there you go. And Georgia could pick up some guys. So we'll have to wait and see. But there you go. Now, college Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus is a pretty well respected, pretty well respected kind of recruiting thing that talks about pro football futures for college players, pro football futures for college players. And somebody wants me to talk about our running back, our new running back. Let me get some information. I'll get our producer to get that information. I tell you, I had such a busy day today. I was going all over the place today, and we'll get that information for you. We've got a recruiting stack. Do you know where that is? Okay, you're working on that. But Pro Football Focus is a pretty respected entity that looks at the NFL future of college football players. And Pro Football Focus attempted to rank the 10 best tight ends returning to college football this year who have a future in the NFL. Number one player on their list is Brock Bowers. They say, this guy, he has exceptional talent, and he's going to be very good in an NFL player. He's already a tremendous, college football player, obviously. Associated Press All-American second team, coaches SEC Freshman of the Year, AP SEC Newcomer of the Year, 247 Sports Freshman of the Year, Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year, Football Writers Association Freshman of the Year. So Brock Bowers, Pro Football Focus says Brock Bowers is going to be. Did you find that about our new guy? Well, you're looking. Okay. Well, you've got a stack like a mile high over there. Okay, we'll get to it eventually. We may not find it tonight, but we do have a good running back. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, Pro Football Focus says Brock Bowers is the number one tight end that has an NFL future, a number one tight end that has an NFL future. And I agree with that. I mean, wow. And interestingly enough, Pro Football Focus feels that Georgia also has another tight end that has a great NFL future. In fact, they rate him as the number 3 prospect in college for, eventually having a career in the NFL. And that guy is Arik Gilbert, who is a Georgia Bulldog player who didn't play for Georgia in 2021. Different kind of things going on with Arik, but hopefully those will be okay, straightened out, and he'll be with the team next season. But Pro Football Focus says he's the number 3 on their board, the number 3 tight end who currently is playing in college that has what they feel like will be a good NFL future. You want me to help you with that? Okay. We'll get in here somewhere. Yeah, we've I don't know. You don't know where it is? Okay. Well, next time we'll have it right on the tip of our tongue. All right. Well, listen, guys, we just popped in here. Once again, go Dogs, national championship, national championship leaders, and you can't find it either, and I can't find it. So there you go. So who you got next week in the conference championship games? Who you got? You got Cincinnati. Yeah, you got. I know. I'm having a conversation. I can't have a 3-way conversation. Okay, so you got Cincinnati taking on Kansas City. Who you got? Cincinnati, Kansas City. I got to go with Kansas City. Mahomes is just the dude. I mean, my word, some of those throws and got to go with Kansas City in that one. And then you got the 49ers and the Rams. Now, the 49ers have beaten the Rams 6 straight times. Isn't that right? 6 straight times. The 49ers have beaten the Rams 6 straight times. I think it's Stafford's time. I think the Rams are going to get it done. So here's who I have in the Super Bowl. I have Los Angeles and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Scheduled to be in Los Angeles. My prediction is it won't be there. They got a lot of, COVID stuff going on and restrictions. And the word is the NFL already is looking to relocate the Super Bowl to Texas. So I don't know, but that's right. All right, guys, thank you for being with us tonight on today's Sports Report, brought to you by UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Join us next Monday. We'll talk some more about University of Georgia football and more. Thank you for jumping in there with us. God bless you all. Stay safe out